Pablo Escobar made so much money that he had to bury stacks of cash in the ground because he simply couldn't spend it all fast enough. At the height of his power, the man was making over $420 million every single week. That's more than what some billionaires make in a year. But what did he do with all that money? Did he invest it? Did he save it? Escobar spent his billions in ways that were as insane as his empire. From building private zoos filled with exotic animals to burning $2 million in cash just to keep his daughter warm. This wasn't just wealth, it was uncontrolled, unimaginable excess. Escobar bought lavish mansions, fleets of cars, private jets, and even an entire island. He controlled entire cities, bribed politicians, and built his own secret paradise. His spending was so wild that even today, years after his death, people are still digging up hidden cash left behind from his drug empire. So how exactly did Escobar spend his fortune? Let's break down the mind-blowing ways he used his billions. Lavish properties and estates. One of Escobar's most famous properties was the Hacienda Nápoles, a massive estate spanning over 7,000 acres in Puerto Triunfo, Colombia. This luxurious property was more than just a mansion. It was an entire paradise built for his pleasure. It featured a private zoo with over 1,500 exotic animals, including elephants, giraffes, zebras, and even hippos, which have now turned into an invasive species in Colombia. The estate also had a private airport, multiple artificial lakes, and a collection of luxury homes where his associates and family members lived. But Hacienda Nápoles was just the beginning. Escobar also owned multiple mansions across Colombia, including high-end properties in Medellín, where he ruled over his empire. His wealth extended beyond his home country. He bought a luxurious mansion in Miami, Florida, estimated to be worth millions. He also owned properties in Mexico and various safe houses around South America, designed specifically for hiding from authorities or enemies. Many of these homes were equipped with secret tunnels, underground bunkers, and escape routes. What made these properties unique was not just their size, but also their extravagant designs. His estates were decorated with expensive furniture, imported marble floors, and gold-plated fittings. The sheer luxury in which he lived reflected not only his wealth, but also his obsession with power and dominance. Expensive cars, planes, and boats. Escobar had a deep passion for luxury cars and spent millions collecting them. He owned a fleet of high-end vehicles, including Rolls-Royces, Ferraris, Porsches, and Mercedes-Benz cars. One of his most famous vehicles was a customized Toyota Land Cruiser, which was heavily armored for his protection. His obsession with rare and expensive cars wasn't just about luxury, it was also a statement of power. Apart from cars, Escobar had a fleet of private jets and helicopters, which were used not only for personal travel, but also to transport drugs and money. His aircraft played a crucial role in the cocaine smuggling operations that made him rich. He even bought his own island, Norman's Cay in the Bahamas, which served as a key hub for drug shipments to the US. His planes would land there, refuel, and continue their journey without attracting much attention from authorities. Additionally, Escobar was known for his luxury yachts, which he used for vacations and secret meetings. These yachts were often loaded with extravagant decorations and state-of-the-art security features to protect him from enemies. His addiction to high-end transportation reflected his love for living an extreme lifestyle. Extravagant parties and lifestyle. Escobar's extravagant lifestyle wasn't just about luxury, it was a symbol of his untouchable power. His parties were legendary, held in his massive estates, including Hacienda Nápoles, a 7,000-acre paradise featuring private lakes, a bullfighting ring, and even an airstrip. These events weren't just about enjoyment, they were displays of dominance. Politicians, law enforcement, and celebrities attended, enjoying the finest food, endless champagne, and bags of cash handed out like party favors. Escobar didn't just throw parties, he orchestrated spectacles that reinforced his grip over Colombia's elite. Beyond the parties, Escobar's daily life was filled with absurd luxuries. He didn't just eat well, he flew in world-class chefs to prepare gourmet meals. His suits were tailor-made with bulletproof lining, and his shoes were crafted from the finest Italian leather. He owned private jets, yachts, and even a fleet of submarines. His jewelry collection included gold-plated guns and diamond-encrusted Rolex watches. But one of the most outrageous stories about his spending habits comes from his time on the run. When he burned $2 million in cash just to keep his daughter warm while they hid in the mountains. Despite his fortune, Escobar faced an unusual problem: where to store all that cash. Traditional banks were out of the question, so he resorted to burying money in fields, stashing it in secret vaults, and even stuffing it inside walls. His brother, Roberto Escobar, once revealed that nearly $2.1 billion was lost every year due to rats eating the money, water damage, or Escobar simply forgetting where he hid it. His cartel reportedly spent $2,500 per month just on rubber bands to bundle the cash together. Escobar's wealth was beyond comprehension, and his spending habits reflected a man who believed he was untouchable. Philanthropy and social projects. Despite being a criminal, Escobar was seen as a Robin Hood figure by many in Colombia. He used his wealth to build houses, hospitals, and schools for the poor. One of his most famous projects was Medellin's barrio Pablo Escobar, a neighborhood where he provided over 400 homes to struggling families. Because of these actions, many locals worshipped him, seeing him as a hero rather than a villain. He also invested in sports, sponsoring local soccer teams and building stadiums. His love for soccer was so strong that he even had professional players at his private games. His involvement in the sport gave him public support, but it also helped him launder money through team investments. However, Escobar's so-called generosity came with a cost. His wealth funded violence, and anyone who opposed him was eliminated. While some saw him as a savior, others knew he was responsible for thousands of deaths. Corruption, bribery, and politics. Escobar's wealth wasn't just for personal indulgence. It was a tool for control. He understood that money could buy power, and he used his billions to infiltrate politics and law enforcement at every level. Police officers, judges, and politicians were all on his payroll, ensuring that his empire could operate without interference. If someone refused his bribes, he had a simple alternative: the infamous plata o plomo policy, meaning silver or lead. Either you took his money or you faced a bullet. This ruthless approach turned many government officials into puppets of the cartel, terrified to oppose him. His influence reached the highest levels of Colombian society. In the 1980s, he even ran for Congress, attempting to gain political protection. His campaign was backed by massive bribes and intimidation, and at one point, he was even elected as an alternate member of the Chamber of Representatives. This position gave him diplomatic privileges, allowing him to avoid arrest and travel freely. However, when Justice Minister Rodrigo Lara Bonilla publicly exposed Escobar's criminal past, his political ambitions came crashing down. Bonilla was later assassinated in a drive-by shooting, a clear message from Escobar that anyone who stood in his way wouldn't live to regret it. The extent of Escobar's corruption was staggering. He didn't just control individuals, he infiltrated entire institutions. His cartel had so much power that law enforcement agencies were often outnumbered and outgunned. Many police officers refused to go after him, knowing that resisting Escobar usually meant a death sentence. Even the highest-ranking officials feared his reach, and the government struggled to contain his influence. The sheer scale of his corruption was unprecedented, making him one of the most powerful criminals in history. At one point, Escobar even made an insane offer. He proposed to pay off Colombia's entire national debt, which was around $10 billion at the time, in exchange for amnesty. This wasn't just an act of generosity. It was a strategic move to legitimize himself and escape prosecution. However, the government rejected his offer, refusing to officially recognize him as anything other than a criminal. This rejection fueled Escobar's escalating war against the state, leading to years of bloodshed, bombings, and terror that would define his final years. Pablo Escobar's story is one of unimaginable wealth, excess, and destruction. While he spent billions on luxury and helping the poor, his fortune was built on violence, corruption, and drug trafficking. In the end, all the money in the world couldn't save him. He was killed in a police shootout in 1993. But his legacy lives on, from the abandoned ruins of Hacienda Nápoles to the hippos still roaming Colombia today. What do you think of Escobar's spending habits? Let us know in the comments below.